The Grandpa Tree, a story written by a dad of a 2-year-old, Mike Donahue, and read by me, Wendolyn Bird. The Grandpa Tree. One day, a bird was flying through the sky with a seed in its mouth when a moth flew by. The bird dropped the seed and caught the moth. The seed fell to the ground. The rains came, and the seed soon began to grow. Tiny green branches stretched toward the sun, and the sun was very good to the new tree. Its tiny branches became bigger and stronger and stretched further toward the sun. Soon, summer was over and fall came. Fall was a fun time for the tree. All day long, a breeze would toss dry leaves onto the little tree branches. The little tree would shake until the leaves would fall again into the wind. Play ended as the snow came, and snow fell, and the little tree was completely covered. Seasons came and went, years went by, and the little tree grew. Well, the little tree grew into a big tree. Squirrels played in its branches. They built their nest, and baby birds sang their very first songs. Pine cones grew and fell from the big tree. Soon around it, new baby trees were stretching their tiny green branches toward the sun. The big tree grew until it was the biggest tree in all the forest. Its strong branches wrestled with the fierce winter winds, slowing them down and making them play gently with the baby trees below. Armloads of snow piled high on its boughs, while little handfuls rested gently on the small young branches. Now, during the hot summer suns, the big tree's long branches reached out with shade for the tender young trees. As the big tree grew old, though, the baby trees, well, they grew up. Squirrels played in their branches, birds built their nest, and baby birds sang their first songs. Pine cones grew and fell from the new trees, and soon their baby trees were stretching their tiny green branches towards the sun. The branches of the old tree were no longer needed by the younger trees. What they did need now was room to grow. One at a time, the old tree dropped its great branches to the ground, making room for the younger trees. The younger trees grew until they were the greatest trees in all the forest. One winter day, the old tree began to rock and creak in the wind. It called to all the younger trees, and it said, Once I was the greatest tree in all the forest, just as you are now. My branches were big and strong. They could wrestle with the fiercest of winter winds, hold up under the heaviest snow, and block the hottest sun. You were the baby trees then, and I watched you grow. As your branches grew strong and needed more room, mine dropped to the ground. Now, I am needed on the ground. I am needed to be the home for rabbits and food for flowers. So my children, remember the youth. As they need room to grow, leave them a world where their branches can spread as freely and greatly as yours do now. And at that very moment, a great wind swept through the forest, and crash, the old, old tree fell to the ground. Soon, a mother rabbit was building a home under the tree, and baby rabbits were playing on the trunk. Ants were building their home, also biting little bits of sawdust and dropping them from their doorstep. The sawdust mixed with dirt and became food for the flowers. Soon the old tree was surrounded by beautiful colors. More rabbits played on its trunk, and more ants dropped sawdust from their doorsteps. The old, old tree became just a brown streak on the ground. One day, a bird flew through the sky with a seed in its mouth. A moth flew by, and the bird dropped the seed and caught the moth. The seed landed right beside the old, old tree. Rains came, and soon little green branches were stretching, stretching, stretching towards the sun. Now, hippity-hey-ho, that tale's